Jamie Oliver has a new ally in his campaign to improve school dinners.
A 9-year-old girl from Argyll who became an internet hit after
Martha Payne, the 9-year-old whose blog about her school dinners caused...
Martha Payne took photographs, rated the meals and commented on them.
I started my blog and called it Never Seconds and wrote about my school dinner.
Put yourself in the shoes for a moment of Martha Payne's parents. Imagine it's your 9-year-old who becomes an overnight blogging sensation taking photos of her school dinners.
Lots of people read my blog, and on the first night it had 35,000 hits.
That you've got parental responsibility for a social networking phenomenon and a story that the world's media all wants a piece of.
Everything happened very quickly, and newspapers asked for my photo and to talk to me. When I came home asking to write every day like a journalist, I had no idea what would happen. I don't think anybody did.
What would you do? How would you react? I'm Pennie Latin, and in Martha's story, I've come to Loch Gilped to meet Martha's stay-at-home dad, Dave, to try and get a sense of what that overnight catapulting into the public eye has done to Martha's family.
And I've never had stress like that. And there's nowhere to go. You can't hide and you can't ignore it because they will come and find you. So you have to confront it.
8 months on, with the calm hopefully finally settling on Martha's blogging storm, I wonder whether Dave ever wishes his daughter hadn't created quite such a monster. Now, Dave, we're just striding across the field in front of the house here, and it's a glorious West Coast day. I actually can't quite imagine that this is the starting point for this extraordinary sort of media feeding frenzy. When you're out here with the sheep or the hens and you're listening to maybe that babbling brook in the background, is this how you forget it's all happened?
It is now. I mean, I'm looking round and I can see jobs which I've missed this year because of Martha's blog. But it is where I come to. But it's just been in the last week that I've been back doing smallholding and looking after the kids as my major focus.
I described it as hopefully the calm after the storm. Are you there yet? Or are the requests still coming in? How much are you still having to deal with everyone wanting a piece of the family, and Martha in particular?
It's still going on. I mean, today is a quiet day, but I've had 4 media requests today. One for Martha to write an article, one from Germany, one from the Czech Republic, and one from Australia. But this is a quiet day. You know, I could ignore those and tackle those later on, but I feel that we have to answer everybody out of politeness. We were getting 1,000 emails an hour for a period, and I still haven't answered some of those. Come on then. Come on then.
I'll make mistakes that I learn from, 'cause I'm young, yeah, I'm young.
Now, Jamie Oliver has a new ally in his campaign to improve school dinners. She's 9-year-old Martha Payne from Argyll. Martha writes a blog called neverseconds.blogspot.com, in which she shows...
Martha did a project on the Titanic, and part of that project at the end of it was to write a newspaper report about the sinking. And she really enjoyed writing a newspaper report. Came home and said, I'd like to write every day like a journalist. And I thought the idea of a blog, and she chose to write about her school dinners.
Sometimes the younger ones get more than the bigger ones, and generally sometimes it's not very nice.
And you give particular ratings,
Yeah.
don't you? What specific things do you rate?
I rate the foodometer, which is how much I like it, the health rating out of 10, the price I pay to have it, the courses which I have, like main and dessert, or starter and main, and how many pieces of hair you find in your food.
And at the time, did you have any kind of warning bells ringing in the back of your head about the content or what she was going to be writing about? Did anything kind of make you think,
Well, I thought enough about it to write a letter to a class teacher asking for permission, and word came back that it was okay. So I gave it some thought, and I guess the school and the council did as well to agree to it.
when this all kicked off, what did you want to get out of it? What did you hope Martha would get out of it, you might get out of it? What potential did it have for you as a dad, as a parent?
I feel very lucky to have time. Time is one of the things that I can give my kids, and I feel that by choosing not to go out and get a job, I need to use my time to benefit the kids. And so when Martha came and said, I'd like to write every day, I've got the time to help her and support her through that. And also, of all my kids, Martha is... We're not the closest, and this was a chance for us to do something together. Now, Joe loves mountain biking, he likes being on a computer. You know, we can do those things together. Polly's got a huge imagination, and she disappears off into her own world, and I can join her there. But Martha hadn't really got that one thing that we had together, and here was a chance to sit down every day and do something together. And it was talking about food, and it was talking about the things that are important to us as a family.
And how soon did it provoke an online reaction initially?
The first post that she published with photographs, it was almost instantaneous. I wrote to her class teacher the following morning to say there'd been 35,000 hits overnight. So I put one tweet out to say, this is my daughter's blog about her school dinners, and then it just went from there.
Now my eyes are popping at the thought of 30-odd thousand sort of hits overnight. What was your brain doing?
I was really surprised. And then also I didn't know whether 35,000 hits was a lot. It sounds like a lot, but I didn't, and I'm not sure in the great scheme of things, but now it's nearly 8.8 million. And that picture that went up on the first day has been seen heading towards 15 million times. So now I look back and think 35,000 hits, we were getting that in less than an hour at certain points. But overnight, I didn't expect, I knew what going viral meant, but you don't expect it. I thought it was going to be aunts and uncles, and I never even contacted them. Some of them heard about it from the papers. And I thought I'd be cajoling them to have a look and leave a comment for her.
How did Martha react? Did she have any sense of how big this was at the time?
No, I don't think she did to start with, and that's, I think, part of our role is to make this experience as least scary for her and her brother and sister as possible. And whilst I was kind of having nerves about what was happening, I wanted her not to be worried about it. She was writing about her school dinners, and I love the fact that she chose to write about her school dinners. I didn't know much about social media. I didn't know how quickly things could spread, and that was a real eye-opener. And it doesn't stop locally. It goes beyond Scotland, beyond Europe, and into the world. And once it's doing that, you can't control what people do with it and what people think about it.
And how much longer are you going to carry on writing this blog?
I think I'm going to try and carry it on for quite a while.
And what about in the long term? What's it make you think about journalism and writing as a career now?
I want to be a journalist because I met the journalist in Spain, and she's really nice.
We're all very nice. If you believe that, you'll believe anything. Thank you both very much. It's been good talking to you.
But while Martha may not have set out to campaign about school dinners, it wasn't long before her blog was receiving some very high-profile attention.
Well, since I chatted to Martha and Dave, they've been tweeted by Jamie Oliver. He said, and I quote, "Shocking but inspirational blog. Keep going. Big love from Jamie." Listening to Martha and Dave, Jane Murphy, who's responsible for school meals in Argyll and Bute. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What do you think of Martha's blog?
I was quite surprised when I saw the pictures, because my view really was that it shows only half a meal. What's not visible in those pictures is the wide range of choices that we have available every day, both in that school and in all our schools across Argyll and Bute. We do provide a range of fruit, a wide range of veg and salad options, including things like lettuce, cherry tomatoes, fruits, watercress. Unfortunately, the pictures just demonstrate really what Martha has chosen for those 4 days.
The portions in some cases are, in her words, meagre, and if she does choose vegetable and fruit, there's not enough of it.
There is plenty provided, I can assure you of that. We do like to encourage the pupils to make their own choices. We don't fill the trays.
How difficult was it as a parent to watch your daughter listening to that?
It was tough because she was upset by it. And it's down to that basic thing that Martha has, and I think a lot of kids have, is to say, it's not fair. And she didn't feel that was a fair comment to make, because she called the blog One Pupil's Daily Dose of School Dinners, and it was, her choice. And it didn't just happen on that occasion, it happened in other interviews where our parenting was discussed, which was very upsetting for us. So it was difficult because you get these unseen elements that creep in. But I'm really proud of the fact that she kept at it, because I think it's really important that kids have their voice and we don't take it from them.
Some people outside of all this will have been pointing the finger and say, oh, she's just a 9-year-old child, she can't be the driving force behind this, she can't be making decisions about all this. How do you respond, or have you responded to that kind of criticism? Because I suspect you've had it probably levelled at you, have you?
I've not had it levelled to me directly, but there's been no drive on our front, it's just been protection. The only drive that put in was when Martha said, I want to write every day, was to say, have you thought about a blog? And to spend the time with her looking at other people's blogs, looking at the blogs that she enjoyed, the pictures and the ratings and things that she came up with. And everything that's happened is the result of the world's media coming to our door and needing to make the choices that kind of get us through that as survivors, and also not kind of lose our integrity as a family.
It's tough, isn't it? Because you live in a relatively small community. This kind of situation, whatever Martha's intentions, when she started taking pictures of those dinners, they were made by someone's mum or someone's dad or someone's cousin, someone's friend. And actually within a small community, that then becomes quite difficult, and it can divide people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the school asked at the start if I would keep an eye on things, and we have this great common sense approach here that works. We can photograph at the panto, and we can take video. And the school simply asked, could you keep an eye on things? And I did. And of course I read everything before she hit the publish button. And I didn't feel that what she was writing was an attack on anybody. It was her daily dose of her school dinners. And that's what she wrote about. And I felt that, I mean, one of the reasons I was glad I had the opportunity to write the book with Martha was to be able to, because things were happening behind the scenes that people knew nothing about at the school gate. And while comments were bandied around on Facebook, I'd arranged a meeting with the council and gone in to speak to them and said, look, let's organise a joint press release, let's make this kind of go away. And they said, yes, we'll do it. And it never happened. And so I was doing my best to try and soothe any troubles that people felt were there. Now, I wouldn't have let Martha write anything that was an attack on anybody. And of course, I go back and look at it, and I don't think she did. I think kids all around the world need to have a voice, and we're learning how powerful it can be, and it is social media that promotes it, but children see the world in a different way, and Martha really kind of has highlighted for me some of the things I was happy to shove away in the back of my mind. I was happy to pay her £2 for her meal, but when I saw it, I was shocked.
Sometimes tasty, sometimes terrible, school meals are certainly topical. In just 6 weeks, Martha Payne's reviews of her school dining hall were read by millions. She ranked the pita bread 5 out of 10. Spring rolls got just 3 out of 10. But there were favourites too. Chicken curry scored 10 out of 10, and so too did macaroni cheese. But then, suddenly, Martha's blog was effectively banned.
So we'd gone to meet Nick Nairn, and we knew there was going to be a photographer there, and that was fine. And it was a flambe, it was flames coming out of the pan, and the headline was "Time to fire the dinner ladies," and that's what caused the council to take their decision to ban it. And that was the headline then that kind of threw it back into the public eye.
I got taken out of my class by my head teacher and taken to her office. I was told that I could not take any more photos of my school dinners because of a headline in the newspaper today. And I am sad, I am no longer allowed to take photos.
And today, Martha's famous fans rallied to her defence. Jamie Oliver told her to stay strong. His fellow TV chef Nick Nairn, who cooked a meal with Martha this week, had this message of support.